Hello and welcome to Grumpy Gamers. You're here with me, Pete, and along with me this week I have Ben.
Hello.
And Eddie.
Hello.
And that's it. We've lost Kirk to work of some kind.
Yeah, actual work, not his framing of games.
Yeah,
like
not
real time work.
Not the hustle, actual work. I mean, terrible times for everyone. But that's what you get for bringing someone in on an internship. They prioritise paid work above it. Shameful, really.
Yeah, who would have thought?
Exactly, and he's learning so much here. I mean, not about podcasting, but generally. Anyway, we also don't have a Boxenberger this week, but that was fantastic fun last week, wasn't it?
It was brilliant. It was really, really good. And yeah, thanks again for him for coming on. And we had a good chat about all of the events that have just gone on. So if you haven't listened to that one, you can check that one out or check it out on our YouTube channel.
Yes, indeed. And yeah, I suppose I should run through what we normally do, because last week we abandoned the format completely. So this week we are going back to the tried and tested news, followed by new releases, followed by a bit of what we've been playing, which is looking pretty good this week, I might say. And our feature this week is incredibly well timed, because we're going to talk about when we should hear about upcoming games, which I think is probably on the top of everyone's minds at the moment, really. So yeah, look forward to that. But should we kick off with the news, or do you want to talk streaming for a second, Ben?
Oh, we can talk quick streaming. So yeah, we streamed last week with one of the games that we've been playing. We're going to talk about that, the Turtles. And this Thursday we're going to be streaming The Quarry, which came out a couple of weeks ago. So we weren't actually planning to cover this game, but we, even though it's right up my street, Until Dawn type game. Yeah, lucky enough to get code, so thank you 2K for sending that one over. So let's make the most of it, and let's get streaming it, I think.
Yes, indeed. I like the royal we usage there, Ben. That was really good.
I know, I love that. Yeah.
Well, it's a collective.
Well, I was there.
I was as well. Yeah,
that's it. It's a collective thing. We're there, and the people in the chat, like we're doing it together. We're doing it together. I don't know if you guys are streaming Rocket League, or you might do later on in the week, but I suppose we'll see if that happens.
It's very possible. I think that one's an ad hoc, isn't it? That's
yeah, it is. Yeah.
If it is, it'll probably be Friday and probably around 8. But we'll see.
But if you are listening to this and you've got a Twitch account, go and give us a follow, because then we can get to that affiliate status. Even if just a small amount of our listeners actually went onto Twitch and followed us, then we'd hit that goal. We'd smash it. Actually, we'd smash it. So yeah, go and do that.
Very low bar, and we are.
It's a very low bar. You only need like 50 follows on Twitch to get affiliate status. So we could do that very easily. So please just go on, give us a follow, Grumpy Gamers Podcast. And get notifications for when we're online,
and end the embarrassment that currently is us not reaching it. Yes, but
yeah. Well, we've only really, I'd say we're only being proactive on Twitch now.
True,
so,
true.
But we need to get there, don't we?
We do. It would just be nice, wouldn't it?
It would be.
But in other news, shall we do the news?
Yes. So the quick news. There is a Nintendo Direct this Wednesday. So the day of this podcast release, there is a Nintendo Direct. So obviously we've had all the other showcases. So Nintendo announced one. Unfortunately, it is just on Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So it's not the Direct that I think a lot of us were hoping that we'd get this week. But that doesn't mean there isn't going to be one in June, a full Direct. So let's not get disheartened about it. And to be honest, I'm quite looking forward to this, because I have no hype for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So I would like to be hyped. I'd like them to sell me this game. I'd like to want it, because it comes out in July. So
it does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Let's all look forward to this, and I'm sure they're going to talk about the battle system, because I think that's the only element of the game that they haven't really talked about. So let's look forward to that one. And the other piece of quick news is that Dragon's Dogma is getting a sequel. So Dragon's Dogma 2 has been announced, and it's being made in Capcom's RE engine. So it's going to look really good. and that has a bit of a cult following. So, I mean, it was one of those games for me that I played quite a bit of, but then I dropped off it because it's actually quite long. And I turned it back on this week because I was like, with this news, I was like, yeah, let's give it another go, load it up, and then turned it off. I was like, okay, no, I can't commit to that. So, but it is a bit of a cult classic, and a lot of people love that game. So that's pretty cool announcement, isn't it?
Very much so, very much so. And then, I mean, we're blurring the lines between quick news and long news here, but I suppose is it just the size of the game when I start off by saying that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was announced?
Yes, well, yeah. The name, I suppose, is was the new bit. I suppose.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it was kind of their announcement for it on the at the Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary, but we know it's coming. We know a third one's coming, so I suppose it's not really an out-and-out announcement. They did comment or confirm the release date, as much as you can confirm one this far out, as winter 2023. Yeah. So we know a bit more than we did before, but Rebirth, I mean, remake, then Rebirth. Do we assume the next one's re-something?
Revenge.
Nice. Yeah.
I reckon.
It could be,
I mean, that's what rolls off the tongue for it. So, I mean, that would make sense, wouldn't it?
It kind of fits the story, yeah.
But the big thing with this one was that a lot of people were expecting that it would be announced for Xbox, but obviously there is a bit more of a timed exclusive that Sony have got for the old PlayStation. Yeah. And I did think, by the way, that one of the quotes from a director of the game, Hamaguchi is the surname. I'm not going to try and pronounce the first name there, just in case. I thought this was an interesting quote where he said that the Final Fantasy VII Remake project is a 3-part trilogy, but Rebirth is much more than just one installment in a series. We're developing it with all the passion and dedication needed to create an original game and plan to deliver the ultimate gameplay and world-building experience. I thought that was a particularly good quote with this one because, I mean, while it is most likely just jargon come up with by a PR team, it suggests they're taking it pretty seriously, doesn't it? I think so. This is a huge game, isn't it? The first one was so well received.
Yeah, and it's such an iconic franchise. Like, they've really got to go as hard at it as they can, haven't they? And the footage they show look fantastic. So
this trilogy has the potential to be one of those really, really special ones that people look back on a few years later and go, Jesus, that was fucking good. Because it will take 10, 12 years for them to get through this trilogy to release them. So
yeah. And this,
it's
it must be said, for me, this is pretty much the only console seller for PlayStation at the moment. As in, the one that would make me get it is this trilogy.
Is it that big for you? Is it?
It kind of is, yeah. I mean, clearly not big enough that I've already bought one, but it's the one that makes me go, you're going to have to at some point unless they come to PC. So,
yeah. Is there any talk about these coming to PC?
Not yet.
No, I'm just thinking because they're doing it with all the others now, aren't they?
I say that, and then I expect Ben to correct me if I'm wrong. But
I thought it would be coming to PC. The first one isn't on PC, I take it.
I don't think so.
Well, I think we're showing our lack of knowledge here.
Yeah, I don't think it is on PC as yet. No.
I think maybe we should look that up. But maybe it's not. But I imagine it will come to PC at some point, even if it's if it's not already.
Yeah. But, you would think so, wouldn't you? Oh, hang on. 3 days ago. Ooh.
Really? Oh, is that announced at the event as well?
17 June 2022. Wow, I missed that.
Okay, so that's part of the story then.
Yeah, don't need to buy a PS4 at all. Goodbye with that. Fantastic.
That's a quick turnaround.
They will all come eventually. I'll catch them when they do. My God. It's good that we do a really in-depth research on this stuff. And it's also good that I did not watch the whole thing, isn't it? But, what do we do when we do? The other bit that I did catch on this, by the way, is that Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion is coming out as well. So that's going to be released this winter. It's a remaster of the original Crisis Core, and it's going to be all the way across all of the consoles via PC on Steam. You'd think that would have pushed me to check Steam.
Final Fantasy VII Remake on Steam is £70.
Yeah, it's not cheap. It's not cheap.
Fuck a duck.
Yeah. That's an expensive one.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I will be waiting for sale, obviously. Like, I'm not jumping at it straight away.
Well,
That is
Pete, if it helps,
expensive.
it's on sale right now, 30%
bigger
off,
sale.
down to £50.
Bigger sale, I
That's expensive for a game which that's been out for years.
do. Yes.
That has
a couple
got
of years
to be one of, if not the most expensive game on Steam, as in without bundles. That has got to. That's the most expensive one I've ever seen.
You would think it's right up there, wouldn't you? And the thing is, as well, you say, Ben, it's been out a little while. That basically tells me that by the Christmas sale this year, it'll probably be half that.
Yeah. Wait for a Christmas sale on this bad boy.
Yeah, you see.
Yeah, because on PlayStation, I'm sure you can pick it up relatively cheaply, surely.
Maybe they're trying to go the Nintendo route. Maybe.
Well, yeah, you put it on PC. They're trying to bank the big sales because, put it on PC, you'll get a certain type of person that's been waiting exclusively for the PC release. So you might as well charge top dollar.
Yeah. I'm still very shocked I missed this. But, it's absolutely fine. It's there. I will wishlist it and wait until it's much, much cheaper. But yeah, to wrap up the rest of it about Crisis Core, by the way, this was the action RPG, which was on PSP, Ben, in 2008.
Yes,
and
yeah,
focuses-
it's quite revered.
It is, yeah. It's got a very attached fan base to that one. So that's coming out this winter, and it's got updated models, voiceovers, and new music, which, as well as a remaster, which I think it should be good. It just depends how much they charge for it.
I think it will be that'll be cool because a lot of people won't have played that game. A lot of people would have skipped out on it, wouldn't have had a PSP. So yeah, it's really good that that's getting a re-release.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, so if you can hear loads of banging behind, I've got numerous animals that won't shut the fuck up around me. So.
Ben, sort it out, man. None of the rest of us cause this kind of problem.
Yeah, Ben. It's always you that makes those noises. Listeners,
every
if you
time-
ever hear banging, it's always Ben. Just
It's
always
fucking not. Like, I make everyone else's sounds disappear. You fucking guys can't keep still to save your life. But this time...
Hey, what do you mean, you guys? Because we didn't figure out what that one time that noise was making, I'm sitting in a dark room with no phone, no laptop. The only thing I have on is my computer.
Eddie, I'm not even allowed a mouse because it makes too much noise clicking in the background.
Pete, that's why I bought the silent mouse, because Ben had that moan at you once. So I was like, right, I'm going to have to buy one of them before Ben has a moan about that.
To be fair, Eddie's pretty good. Pete's the worst, and Kirk's usually very, very good, but he was a bad guy last week as well. So yeah. But anyway, it's my turn this week. So if you hear banging, it'll go away eventually.
Fucking ridiculous. Anyway, do we have more news?
Yes, we have more news. That's not me, actually. It's Eddie.
I've got a small one. V Rising, that vampire game, has sold 2 million copies. So Eurogamer's news story. Vampiric survival game V Rising has hit the 2 million sales milestone since launching itself fangs first onto Steam a month ago. Very good. Thank you, Eurogamer. The game's early access version, a mix of base building and crafting with multiplayer elements, has proven very popular, and positive reviews helped it hit 1 million copies sold in just over a week. So a huge launch. It looks great, in my opinion. It's got very positive on Steam, as you can imagine. Ben, did you see
played
this?
a bit, didn't you?
I was going to say, I think Ben's played a bit.
Yeah,
I've played a bit. Yeah, I've played a bit. It's very Valheim. I think it's one of those that you want to be playing with your mates. And I was kind of, when I got the game, I thought, I'll get this because it will be played eventually, and I'll get a little head start before Pete comes in and then just plays 200 hours. I'd rather know what's going on for when eventually Pete does get involved, and then I can just join in. So yeah, I think it was really cool. But unlike with Valheim, where I played with partial controller support, this one doesn't have any. So when they do bring out some controller support, then I'd be more interested.
Is that why you died so often in Valheim? Just like crossing terrain? Was it trying to rely on the controller?
Trees, just fucking trees,
random trees, small ponds. Ben would drown.
Well, yeah, because I had to play a hybrid with the keyboard and controller. Yeah, I make things very difficult for myself. I must admit.
In Valheim, for a survival game, I've never known someone die that often.
Yeah, it's not the easiest thing to do, die as much as I do, but
in the
when you've got
area, it's a lovely sunlit field littered with Ben's corpses. Like,
when you got it, Pete, you just gotta. If that's what you're good at, you gotta buy into it. But yeah, this game is good. It's not quite got the Valheim level of sales, or has it? Because Valheim did like 4 or 5 million in its first month or so, didn't it?
Huge, isn't it?
It basically did over $1 million a week for 8 weeks or something. Yeah.
But what's great? Like this is a £15 game, so 2 million copies. That's fucking mental. Like 30 million quid in the bank for probably a relatively small team to give this crack and go. What I would say about this game is that it looks a lot better than Valheim did at the start. That was my main gripe with Valheim. I thought it looked like shit.
Yeah, but you're the only one that thought Valheim didn't look good at the start. I thought it looked great. Pete thought it looked great. You just thought it looked
I mean, it does. I mean, that I didn't think I was being controversial when I said that. I think
you were.
Yeah.
Everyone really liked the art style except you. Yeah.
You were in the minority.
Yeah, no, that art style is to paper over the fact that it looks like shit.
It looked great.
Anyway. Yeah. You were.
Good. So that's V Rising. Okay.
That is V Rising. You can tell there's a lot of good news this week because
we're taking tangents all over the shop. Yes.
Yeah, we've had all the conferences. It's all about games and things like that. But so our news is a bit filler, really, isn't it? So our third story is Diablo Immortal has earned £20 million within its first 2 weeks after launch. So it's been downloaded 8 million times in that first 2 weeks, which is quite impressive. And as I said, £20 million worth of revenue generation. So that will be through the microtransactions because it's a free-to-play game. It's still this controversial game, and it depends who you speak to, whether somebody loves it or hates it, or says it's the devil. But I like I said the other week, I still think it's probably one of the best mobile games out there for the casual gamer. I don't think you have to buy into the microtransaction stuff. But a couple of stats for you coming from Eurogamer reporting this. The US made up 26% of the downloads of the 8 million. But the ones behind that were South Korea and Brazil with 11 and 8%. And then Japan followed with 8% as well. But South Korea really getting up with this. And then following from that, of the revenue generation of the 20 million, 43% of that revenue has been generated by US players and 26% from South Korea. So almost 70% of the revenue has come from the US and South Korea.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. But Diablo Immortal is, as I said, plagued with the controversy around it, and it has actually got the lowest user score of any PC game ever on Metacritic.
Wow.
And it's currently around 0.2. And on iOS, it also has a similar rating of like 0.2, 0.3, something like that. But I think this is just another reason why we really need to get rid of that user score thing on Metacritic. I don't know who pays attention to it, but it just needs to go away. I think too many games. I think the more popular your game is, the more likely it is to be review bombed. And if people have a problem with the game, like nobody's doing it properly. Nobody's saying, "Oh, okay, I think it's a 5 out of 10 because of all these things that are wrong with it." They say 0, and everyone just says 0, 0, 0, and it just makes it nonsense.
It should have a verified purchase system. You know what I mean? Like, it should you must have bought the game for your user score to count. Because otherwise it is just too much. I think it's still. But
you can only do that through some things like Steam, can't you? Because you can't really do that on.
Yeah, that is the problem. Or maybe you should have a code that goes for Metacritic just to stop this, because it is really annoying. And then they'd still be able to do it on Google or whatever. But it's just it is annoying when you get this degree of review bombing.
But because it makes it meaningless, because actually the 10,000 people or whatever who have said zeros, they are a vocal. We don't know whether it's minority or majority. We don't know what it is because they're the ones being vocal. So I think it's fairly decent. I'm not going on to Metacritic and saying 8 out of 10. I can't be asked to do any of that. But it's like when you're one way or the other, you're more inclined to go on there and post your score, but it just makes it a bit nonsense. I really think the user score should just be got rid of on Metacritic. I think it's just another example, and I also think this is almost a stupid. It's like people comparing mobile games to console games and all this kind of stuff, and I'm just not into it. But there were fears coming from the Diablo community about microtransactions being within Diablo 4, and the franchise exec Rod Ferguson has said, to be clear, Diablo 4 is a full-price game built for PC, PlayStation, and Xbox audiences. So, and the implication from that being that microtransactions, although they may be in the game, I believe are only to be cosmetic and have nothing to do with the actual gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, not outright said in those exact words, but you can...
No, but it was following on from from that kind of conversation. I don't think he can be cut and dry clear, because I think they will have microtransactions, and I think it will be for cosmetics.
Yeah.
But he can't be he doesn't want to quote anything that could change over time. But the gameplay wise, and because it's going to have PvP, I just don't think.
Fair.
I don't think they can do that. But that's the news. That
between this and was it the Fortnite? Remember when they were raising money for Ukraine? And how much money do these companies earn through?
Mobile gaming is ridiculous.
But listen, like I was thinking about this, like 20 million. So they've earned 20 million in the first 2 weeks. Like, it doesn't mean anything. Like, I know I said it as a story, and we go, "Ooh, isn't that a big number?" and everything. But I don't actually know what that means, and I don't know relative to what money it took to make this mobile game. You know, it's a pretty good mobile game. It's a pretty complete package. Behind all the microtransactions and everything, if you just tarted it up, it could go straight on console. Like, and you could charge 35 quid for it or something. You know, it's a decent game. Like, what kind of money goes into making this, and has 20 million worth of revenue? What does that cover of its costs? Does that smash it, or is it still got cost to recoup? These are the questions that we have no idea about.
It's been 2 weeks, Ben. I think they've got a bit more time.
It's not about the time, Pete. It's about how much it costs to make a game.
Very true.
I don't know.
But I mean, I don't think they're desperate to recoup costs within 2 weeks. Is what I mean.
I imagine that they would be hopeful of absolutely smashing it within weeks. Fair. Because the game dies after a few weeks. Like,
that is a good point.
That's the long and short of it. After a while, that will just taper right off after a few weeks. So
I suppose
this is their time to smash it,
especially with microtransaction games. Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
While they're in vogue is their strongest point.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, that was the very chill news section for the week.
Yeah, it was really kind of 2 weeks as well, because we didn't do a normal show last week, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I suppose the thing is, if you want to know the news, go watch one of the showcases. Like,
yes, because that is the big news.
Yeah, like, that's
exactly.
But I suppose we're on to new releases, and you've got an absolute fuck ton, Eddie.
Yeah, here we go, Eddie.
2 weeks
Big
worth,
time.
haven't we?
Yeah.
Let's start with an absolute banger. 15th of June it came out on PC. I don't know if it's on anything else, but I couldn't be asked to look it up, and I assume it's not, because it's a very PC game. Yeah. And that is The Guild 3. The Guild 3 is a fascinating trade and life simulation that takes place during the late Middle Ages. Step into the shoes of a citizen, acquire businesses and mansions, produce goods and trade them. Start intrigues in politics and society. Love, hate, bribe, fight, and live through good and bad times. The Guild games are kind of RPGs where you follow one person, or if you have kids you follow them and stuff, and have a wife and you follow them, and it's all about building up your business, kind of creating an empire. And there's kind of another side of it with politics, where you basically try and work your way up from the politics, and of course that helps your businesses that you earn as well.
Deeply corrupt. Yes, nice.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, in Guild 2, biggest problem with it is the rogue class was so much more entertaining and so much more fun to play than any other one. So, but hey, this looks great. I've played 1 and 2. I was a bit disappointed by 2, if I'm being honest, but I think the fact that it was still successful, I think the Guild 3 could be amazing. It's been in early access since bloody, I think 2019 or something like that. So I really think it's going to be good. It's on my wish list. I highly recommend anyone to check out the old ones as well.
It's on my wish list now as well.
I thought it had mixed reviews on Steam.
It definitely does, yes.
I mean, I don't know anything about this, and it's quite good that you've said that you've played the first two, Eddie, because when I saw this, I thought this looks really good graphically, but as soon as you started looking, I looked at the trailer, I was like, I don't reckon it'll be very good. It just didn't seem very good. It seemed, I don't know, it just seemed a bit lame.
You know what? Like, it is. It's not like fast paced like most other games. It's more the satisfaction that you've kind of built yourself up and they're doing certain things.
Yeah.
It's not, you're fast paced, I'm going to kill people and stuff. So it'll be interesting what they do with this one, because I think they would have found on the last one that everyone kind of steered over to the rogue class. So maybe they've incorporated certain things with it. Yeah, it could be good. It could be shit. I've seen it's got mixed reviews on Steam, but that's... Remember, obviously, it's only full release from
access.
15th of June. Yeah, so these are all early access, so it's going to have all the people going, there's a bug, there's this, there's that. So,
yeah, fair.
Don't really take that into consideration. The next one, Autonauts, coming out on PlayStation's, Xbox's, Switch, June 16th. In Autonauts, I'm saying that right, aren't I? Autonauts,
I think so.
Yes, yeah. You must build, create, and automate. Oh, that was good. I like that. Start by establishing a colony, crafting bots, and teaching them via Scratch-style programming to build an ever-evolving, autonomous parade of agriculture, industry, and enlightenment. The art style is not for me. It's like really bright and happy. The animations are fucking awful. But these kind of games, I do like the mechanics. It looks like, you just... Oh, let's get the fucking screenshots up again. Yeah, it looks like a typical kind of Minecraft-style colony builder. So I think I would actually quite enjoy it if I play it. But considering this is a stacked market, I think this won't do well. But what do you guys think of this one?
I saw the description. I saw the description and I was like, wow, this sounds like a game for me, actually. And then I looked at it and I thought, damn it, it probably is all right, but it's got that childish, kiddie kind of art style thing, which is actually very slick, very bright, but very, it looks quite polished, but I was immediately turned off by that, so.
Same.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, yeah.
Looks like they've gone for a market and they stuck with it, which is fine. Next one, Neon White, coming out on PC and Switch, June 16th. Neon White is a single-player speedrunning FPS, where you can sacrifice your guns for godlike parkour moves. It looks like it might be okay. The parkour combined with cards could be fun. I've seen some good clips where you, do a fireball or whatever. I don't know why they went with this art style, though. That kind of really pisses me off. Do you know what I mean? It's got, for our listeners, it's got, the people have got, fangs and horns and just everyone looks a bit stupid. Some people have got masks on.
Well, they're fighting demons in heaven, aren't they, or something? I think that's
But why did they do that? Because this game, the mechanics with the, picking a card and using the weapon and all this sort of stuff, it looks quite interesting. And that in itself is its own, USP. So why didn't they just stick with that and just make it normal?
I see your point. I feel that you might be giving it short shrift considering its overwhelmingly positive reviews.
Yeah,
on Steam. Overwhelming.
Well, that is interesting that it's got overwhelming. It's been a couple of. It was a Nintendo Direct.
It was.
It's also shown at another event that we've just seen, probably Summer Game Fest or something. And
we saw that.
I don't know. Every time I've seen a trailer of this game, I have no interest in it whatsoever. But as you said, overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah,
right?
and to be fair, a lot of them mention how good the soundtrack is and that speedrunning to it is incredibly fun. So
right, fair enough.
That might be just, again, that's the gameplay, not the plot, though, as Eddie says. But if it works, it works. No, that's the thing, and it's overwhelmingly positive. So looks like even if we don't recommend it, quite a few people would.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think the mechanics will be really quite interesting to me, but I just wish they weren't so silly on it. But I guess if that's what people want, then that's what people want. Moving on. Overlord, Escape from Nazarick. Almost messed that one up. Coming out on PC and Switch, June 16th. 2D action-adventure game set in the rich world of the epic dark fantasy Overlord. This latest installment in the series features an original story overseen by Overlord's creator, Kujane Mariyama. Nailed that one. Find Clementines, I was going to say Clementes, missing memories and make your escape. This is a kind of a 90s art style, like kind of, I don't know what you call it, a 2D shitty sideways scroller dog shit thing. The gameplay looks very standard, like all of these, but the music was bloody intense. So I guess that's a positive. Ben, I'm going to come to you because you normally defend shit games like this.
It's crowded market, man. Crowded market.
You know what? They're more and more are coming out, aren't they? It's crazy how many of these are coming out.
The thing is, if you love this type of game, which loads of people do, and this is on the Switch, it's a perfect home for it. I can see it being a good game for those type of people, but it's a very crowded market, and there are really, really good ones out there.
Well, I think a lot of people are making this type of game because they want to, as much as anything. You know what I mean? Like, it's all the guys who grew up with these games, all the people who grew up with these games, have the chance to make a game, so they make one like that.
On a system which it goes really well for.
Yeah, and on a budget.
Yes,
so it
absolutely.
Just works. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we will see a lot of these. This doesn't stand out by much.
Yeah, same. Fair enough, though. Redout 2 coming out on PC, PlayStations, Xboxes, and Switch. Ooh, all of them. June 16th. The fastest racing game in the universe. Redout 2 is a tribute to a classic arcade racing games and the sequel to the critically acclaimed Redout, reach impossible speeds in exhilarating futuristic races across an extensive single-player campaign and competitive multiplayer. There are 6 types of races, like kind of you do different things in them. There's vehicle customization. The visuals and audios look great. You know what? This is really killing me, and I hope you two can help me out. This reminds me of, I think it's a PlayStation.
Wipeout. Yeah.
Right, I'm going to type that in because I bet it
is. Yeah, for our listeners, it looks exactly like Wipeout. It's a modern day Wipeout, which it looks really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Wipeout the game show, not that. I'm going to type in.
Well, the original Redout literally called itself a tribute to F-Zero, Wipeout, and Roll Cage.
Yeah,
so, it's Wipeout.
I was going to say F-Zero is the other one.
Got it. Yeah. Wipeout. I think I played Wipeout 2097. I recognise the case already.
Yeah,
that was a fucking game. But hey, this looks quite good as well. Do you think?
I think it does. Yeah, I think it looks really good.
Yeah.
I always found Wipeout really fucking difficult as a kid. Like the pace of it and everything. I just really, really difficult. Maybe it was just me.
Would explain driving.
You're bad at you're bad at driving, but you're also bad at games. Imagine how bad you were when you were a kid. Jesus.
Not good at games. I'm okay at driving. Again,
I think
we've
you're
had this
have
conversation.
a lot of angry emails coming in. Anyone who's sat in a car with you.
We've had this conversation, Eddie. We've had this conversation.
Yeah, when you killed me in a car while you were driving.
Yes, but nobody has died.
Nobody has died. You have a 100% record of survival rate.
To be fair, Eddie, didn't your car catch fire with you, Ben, and Kirk in it?
Yeah.
Yes, there was a fire.
And then we put out the car, and then we drove for the rest of the journey. What do you want?
Mine.
Nobody died.
Nobody died.
What do you want?
So again, Eddie also has 100% success rate.
So you're both at least average drivers.
Brilliant, good. Yeah. That's what it takes to be a bad driver, is to actually kill someone, right? Sweet.
Christ.
All right.
That's bleak, isn't it? Yeah.
That is bleak. Right, moving on. Starship Troopers Terran Command coming out on PC June 16th. Starship Troopers Terran Command is a thrilling real-time strategy game set in the Starship Troopers movies universe. Take command of the mobile infantry and do your part in the war against the arachnid threat. Ensure that human civilization, not insect, dominates the galaxy now and always. It's kind of an Age of Empires type. Has a campaign. Dozens of unique unit types, each with their own special abilities. I'm not going to hate on this because I loved Starship Troopers, the movie, and I love this kind of game. So I don't think I'll enjoy it because it seems pretty bland, but I like that they've made it. What do you guys think?
Starship Troopers, the film, is fucking tremendous.
Amazing movie. What a movie.
So ahead of its time. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Nuke and Rico, yeah. But anybody seen Worth a Buy's review of Starship Troopers?
Oh, shit, I didn't know he's done it.
He really liked it. Yeah, really liked it. I think, he definitely reviewed the first half of the campaign. I think he was reviewing the next half sometime. Well, he might not have done the second half. But yeah, he really liked it.
Again, it's another one that's very positive on Steam as well, which was why I sort of had a look at this. Yeah, and I mean, Eddie, one of the things they mentioned there is it's really similar to the Warhammer RTS games. You remember, like Shadow of the Horned Dragon?
Oh, you know what? I was gonna say it reminds me of Dawn of War.
Yeah,
you know those
very
games.
Much so. Yes,
yeah,
like
but I didn't want to compare it to that because I know Dawn of War you had to like catch your spots and stuff, while this it looks more defensive. But yeah, absolutely, I got those vibes.
Yeah,
and they were good games. So.
They were. Yeah.
If I were into real-time strategy games, then I'd be all over this because Starship Troopers is incredible IP. Absolutely love it. And I actually think this game is getting some quite good reviews. So, yeah if you're into it, check this one out. I think this could be right up your street.
There you go. All right, next one, big one. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Shredder's Revenge came out on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. All on June 16th. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge reunites Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Raphael as they kick shell in a beautifully realised beat-them-up. Ben, do you want to tell us about it, or are you going to save it to a bit later?
Probably save it. But it is on Game Pass, remember. So that's another good point. It's on Game Pass from day one.
Yes, indeed.
It's on Game Pass right now. You can download it right now. But you want to wait until Ben's review. Next one, Zora the Chronicles, the game. Coming out on PC, PlayStations, Xboxes, Switches, fucking everything. June 16th. Zora the Chronicles is an exciting and humorous... I should have done a Mexican accent for this. Humorous game featuring combat and exploration gameplay inspired by the best action games in class. Cartoon third person. There's 18 levels. And you can adapt your approach. There's like different ways to approach each level. Has timed parries and it has combos and something. So it's not a basic game. And it looks okay. What do you guys think?
I don't know who would play it, but it does look okay.
Yeah, I was thinking the same, Pete. Like I like when I first looked at it and looked at the gameplay and stuff, I was like, is this going to be terrible? Oh no, it's not terrible, but I don't know what the point of it is.
Yeah, you've not done it badly, just why did you do it? That's kind of where I stand with this. You've not done it badly at all, just why did you do it? So, yeah, if you're a massive Zorro fanboy...
I also think they've limited their audience by being so... the cutscenes are so childish.
Yes.
So, like, someone like me, I've seen the mechanics of the combat, and I think, oh, that looks quite cool. But then I've looked at, like, the cutscenes and stuff where it's so childish, and I've gone, no, I can't be seen playing this. My girlfriend might take the piss out of me again, like she did with Minecraft.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's really imprinted on you, hasn't it?
Yes. That was some emotional damage that stayed with him.
I really want to go and play Minecraft, but I can't.
That's trauma. That is real trauma.
I just want to go back and play Minecraft. Oh dear. All right, cool. Yeah, I didn't think I was that good either. Summoner's Fate came out on PC June 20th. Well, it didn't come out because that's today or yesterday if it's for listeners. Summoner's Fate is a roguelite adventure that fuses traditional turn-based combat with tactical card combat. Set in the fantasy land known as the Multiverse, you're tasked with guiding summoners through perilous quests in search of hidden secrets, powerful cards, and mutated rabbits. This is actually a top-down game, which I haven't seen in a very, very long time. The art style looks very lazy, kind of like cartoony laziness, something you'd see 20 years ago. I like the deck building elements. I think that's pretty cool. And the other only positive thing I can say is there's a free demo on Steam. Pete, have you seen this? Are you interested in this?
Not even vaguely, no.
Damn, I was going to you hoping you'd say
I thought you'd think I was interested in this one. And in many ways, I possibly should have been, but I look at it and go, "Nah, I'm good, thanks."
Yeah, it's a shame because I like the card element stuff to it, and you can like choose your cards to put in your deck, and then you can use those things against enemies, and there's all sorts of things that will help you in different scenarios. I like that, but it's shame about everything else about the game.
Yeah, it's
a bit harsh.
I don't know, just a few things about it. I mean, like, for one thing, your Fantasyland being called the multiverse is just kind of lazy. Let's be honest. And I mean, it's cards, it's dice rolling, it's just play Dungeons and Dragons, like, or Magic the Gathering.
It's lazy writing, it's lazy art style, it's a lazy game, isn't it?
That's kind of, it just doesn't inspire me to want to play it. You know what I mean? I look at this and go, meh. But it was a finalist for the top 10 at PAX. So, yeah, clearly some people think it's going to be good.
There you go. Ben, any thoughts?
I've not got much for you because when doing the research for this, I have forgotten about this one entirely. So I'm sure it was very memorable.
Professional podcasting. Perfect.
Brilliant.
Yep.
Love it.
Good.
Thank you, Ben.
Yep.
Fantastic. Good work.
No worries. Buddy. Cheers.
Next one. Anvil Saga, coming out on PC June 21st. Anvil Saga is a management sim with RPG elements where you take control of a blacksmith shop amidst the 100 Years' War. Each decision you make impacts the story and gameplay. We saw this a while ago, I reckon about a couple months ago at one of these city events that you always make me watch. It's been on my wish list since then. It survived 2 culls. About once a month I go through all my wish list and go, do you really like this game or were you just excited at the time? Yeah. And it survived 2 culls since then. It's not saying much because I still have, and I looked this up today, 86 games on my wish list. So I don't know if that's a positive thing or not. But hey, this game, to me, looks fucking great. It's got an interesting style. It's like a pixelated kind of RimWorld look to it. You can build up your smithy, like knock down rooms, build into the basement. You can hire staff. There's like a whole choosing sides in the story element to it. And on top of all this, the game just looks really, really charming. I think this is going to be brilliant. But what do you guys think?
I thought this was a U game at the moment I saw it. And I still do. No, I can see why you like the look of it. It's, again, that pixelated style is either going to be really jarring or really good, depending on the writing for me. If it's written well, it kind of works and the humour works with it. But if it's lazy, well, maybe not. But, you know, it's definitely an interesting one. Definitely one to track sort of thing for me.
I like the look of it. I was quite pleased to hear that you like the look of it, Eddie, because this could have gone one of 2 ways. I don't know if you think that, Pete, when you looked at this. I didn't know whether Eddie was going to go one way or the other because he could just call this a load of shit.
Yes.
But yeah, because the art style it's a chosen art style. Well, let's put it like that. It's not. It'll put a lot of people off, I think. But it's more about the sim aspects, isn't it, than kind of what it looks like.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's survived 2 calls. Okay, well that's good. What's the price looking at, Eddie? Because it's obviously not low enough to get you.
There's no price on there yet.
There won't be any price until tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Okay. What were you expecting?
This is kind of an indie game, so I'm gonna be generous and say £25.
Oh wow, I was thinking more like 17, 18.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Maybe even 15. We'll see.
You know what? Yeah, it's got the era of a game. Do you know why I'm not thinking that low? It's because it was on that event. This is the kind of game that if I didn't see this at that big event that we watched ages ago, I would think, oh, it's just a little indie developer. They'll give it away £15 and it'll be a fucking lovely buy, and I'll love it.
Yeah.
I'll probably get it on a £9 sale, or whatever, and I'll fucking play the shit out of it. I'll love it, and I'll never talk about it again. But because it was on that event, I think that gives it more thwack, more license to put the price up a bit.
It probably does, yeah, because they're going to get extra sales just from that. So, Yeah, it probably does.
But Ben,
Bit of
remember on
demand for it.
that Nintendo Indie, we had that one-person game as well. So,
Oh yeah.
you do get the random ones that just creep in.
That was obviously somebody's son.
Yeah, could well be.
Pretty harsh. Yeah, absolutely amazing. I'm looking forward to this one. Next one, something I'm not looking forward to. The Elder Scrolls Online High Isle coming out on PC, PlayStation's... not PC. Don't know why I said that. PlayStation and Xboxes. June 21st. Explore the... You know what? I'm not going to do that. It's a DLC for the Elder Scrolls Online.
It's the one that was shown at Summer Games Fest.
Yes, that's right.
Or Xbox, one of the two.
Yeah. Okay, Ben, do you want to take over this section?
That's it. That's all
That's
it is.
That's all you got. Brilliant. For our listeners, if you are interested in this, what really made me think I would probably get this one is it says it's a medieval Mediterranean vibe. I like that. And I've seen the screenshots and whatnot. It does look quite a beautiful area. But yeah, I've tried to get into Elder Scrolls Online a few times and every time I failed. So
I'd
fucking love to be involved. Yeah. I would love. But one of the things that puts me off is that I wouldn't really know where to start because I don't know what one you have to have. I know it's on Game Pass or whatever, but what's the entry level? Is it just the base game or what? Because there's so many DLCs to it, right?
There are, yeah. And
many.
This one, by the way, is £33 just for the upgrade.
Moses.
Yeah.
fucking hell.
It's big.
Wow.
Gives you an idea of the scale, but my word, it's so big now. And if you weren't in,
I wouldn't know where to start.
Yeah, if you weren't in at the time, an MMO is hard to get into late.
Yes, yeah.
Bunch of shit. Yeah. Next one, Fall Guys.
Nonsense.
Fall Guys. I know, yeah, because Elder Scrolls Online is very popular, isn't it?
It's really popular, yeah.
Controversial. I've tried. Honestly, I think I've jumped into it probably realistically about 3, maybe 4 times. And every time I just get past the tutorial, I start doing something and go, "This is a whole thing," and I don't want to get. I also don't want to encourage. Yeah, I also don't want to encourage the developers. You know, honestly, if you heard my rants of when I heard Elder Scrolls Online was going to be a thing, you would have thought I was a psycho. But
I do, and I did, if I remember rightly.
yes, yeah. You were one of the lucky people that I ranted to. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the worst thing to happen to that series since its creation. But anyway, moving on. Fall Guys is coming to Xboxes, PlayStation, Switch. What was on before?
Yeah. It was on PlayStation before.
Oh, it was on PlayStation. This is coming out on PlayStation 5. Right?
Probably PC. But yeah, this is the PS5 upgrade. But it's free. It's free to play. That's the big thing on this. It's amazing. I've downloaded it for Switch and I'll be looking to play that one tomorrow. I've always wanted it on Switch because I just think it seems to me to be the perfect Switch game. But free to play, fucking brilliant. I really look forward to it. Hopefully it gets a bit of a buzz around it again. Because obviously when it came out, it was huge with all the streamers and everything. Because it initially came out free to play for 1 month on PS Plus, and now it's coming free to play everywhere. Looks pretty good.
Yeah. How'd you get it on Xboxes? Do you think? Do it just be in Microsoft Store and then you just buy it for free?
I think so.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cool.
I think so.
I might actually get that because that could be a nice. I like my, like at lunchtime, my casual games that I jump in, play my golf and whatnot.
Yeah, it could be that. Yeah, a couple of rounds of Fall Guys.
All right, nice. I've realised how long I've been taking on this section already, so let's burn through a few, shall we?
We're still on last week's.
We're still on last week's. Planet Zoo Conservation Pack. It's a DLC. Who gives a fuck? Coming out on June 21st to PC. 150 plus scenery pieces. There's a new scenario and there's some new animals. There you go. Who wants that?
Nice.
Shadowrun Trilogy coming out PC. I keep on doing that. Do you know why? It's because there's a P at the beginning. PS5, PlayStation's, Xboxes, and Switch, June 21st. The Shadowrun trilogy comprises 3 cult tactical RPG games taking place in a dystopian cyberpunk future in which magic has reawakened, bringing back to life creatures of high fantasy. Initially created as a tabletop RPG over 30 years ago, this is a one-of-a-kind setting that has gained a huge cult following during the past 3 decades. It looks like Wasteland 2 in a cyberpunk setting, which both things I'm very into. It's the exact same as Wasteland, where it becomes turn-based once an enemy sees you, but before that you just run, use your character, click around and move them out like that. What's quite cool as well is each class has their own special moves. And I really like the art style. I mean, it's obviously cyberpunk setting, so it looks cool. But just the way they've done it, I think it looks really good. I think it would be really good for those strategy gamers who like your Baldur's Gates and your Wastelands.
Yes, massively so, yeah.
Yeah, Pete,
Absolutely,
you like those games, so what do you think of this one?
I think at the moment it's too expensive, but I'd be tempted to dabble in this. Like Shadowrun is one of the classic tabletops, as it were, alongside things like Cyberpunk.
How much
D&D.
would you pay for this trilogy, Peter?
Well, not £40, which is where it sits at the moment on a 20% discount.
Yeah, but it is this is a re-release, isn't it? So
Exactly, yeah.
Well, Peter, I'll have you know that on one of our favourite websites, GOG, it is £10 at the moment, 75% sale.
wow, that's special actually.
There you go, listeners.
Yeah. I
There's
might
a
have a
little
look at that.
inside scoop from the E-Dog.
Who now?
That was weird, wasn't it? I apologise for that. But I do not apologise for giving you that sale, because that is we're not sponsored by GOG. In fact, we'll probably get sued for even mentioning them. But it looks like a good trilogy. I've looked at the other two. The one, because the thing is, they don't call them 1, 2, and 3, I don't think. I think they call them like, I don't know, Enter Japan or something. I don't know.
It's one of them's Hong Kong.
Hong Kong. Right.
Dragonfall.
Oof, I've offended some people there. Wow. Oh, shit. Right, let's move on.
Move it on, E-Dog. Come on.
Wreckfest, coming out on Switch, June 21st. Wreckfest is a Demolition Derby-themed racing game with a soft body damage modelling, sophisticated driving dynamics, and in-depth vehicle upgrading, featuring both Demolition Derbies and more traditional track races. It's all about fun, breakneck racing, and over-the-top crashes. I didn't know breakneck racing was a thing.
That one you had a little pause over, didn't you? That was a significant break.
Is that a thing? Is that
breakneck speed? Yeah.
Right, I see. So huge. So, all right, fine. Being a Ben's car, I'm surprised I don't know that.
Exactly. You should know more.
It's a car racing game where damage matters, which I love because I hate these fucking games. Ben, what's one of the big ones that you
Gran
said?
Turismo.
Is it Gran Turismo where you can just crash and nothing happens to your car?
Yeah, nothing really happens.
God, that pisses me off. With this one, you can upgrade your car, but it does affect handling, which is quite cool. So, like if you have heavy armor, then you won't be able to turn as quickly or move as fast. So you kind of make your decisions. Do I want to be a really nippy, quick car or vice versa? The visuals look surprisingly good. I'm starting to think all racing games just look good now. I don't know if it's maybe an easy thing because maybe they don't need to spend a long time on the mechanics, but I don't know. This gives me obviously Carmageddon vibes, which I used to play the shit out of when I was a kid. So I love these kind of games. I think this looks great. Ben, I'm coming to you because you're the only one with a Switch here.
Well,
do you think this is
when
good?
you said the visuals look surprisingly good, is that the Switch version you saw? Because I obviously know Wreckfest and looked at that, but not the Switch version. I haven't actually seen any footage of that. I can only imagine it looks like liquid garbage.
Yeah, because
I haven't seen Switch, but I'm going by the because it's just easier to find out mechanics and stuff. The PC version.
Oh yeah, it looks lovely on PC. Gorgeous.
So even you're admitting now that.
Oh yeah, but a lot of these racing games that come onto the Switch, because there are actually quite a few now, they all take hot downgrades.
Oh, do they?
Like
good.
Real spicy downgrades, and oftentimes I think frame rate can be an issue. But I'd be really interested to see how this one holds up. I've got no opinion on it because we haven't managed to see any footage of it. But but the game itself I think is good.
Okay.
From what I've heard.
Cool. All right, now moving on to games coming out next week. First one. Yeah, chaps, we're only halfway through.
Strap in.
Fire Girl Hack and Splash Rescue DX Coming out on PlayStations, Xboxes, and Switch, June 22nd. Take on the role of a young rescue officer starting her career, armed with a trusty axe and a high-pressure fire hose that also acts like a jetpack. Just like in real life. Fire Girl responds to emergency calls across the city. Can Fire Girl save all the trapped civilians caught in each blaze? This is like a 2.5D with surprisingly good visuals, apart from the main character. The main character is really shit, but everything like around her looks really cool. You can upgrade your equipment and hire new staff. So I'm all in. 100% in. Gonna buy it.
This is really interesting because this game came out on PC, and when I was doing the new releases, so like fucking year ago.
December 21 came out on PC.
Yeah, you got December 21. I'm sure I did the new releases that week when when we talked about it. I said it looked great, and everyone else said it looked shit.
I still think it looks shit. If that helps.
Yeah, I am joking. It's only the fact that you can hire staff and you can do certain like mechanics. But no, I
think it looks cool.
Yeah, I'm not going to play this. Don't you think, like, when she's running around, the visuals behind her look fucking great in some
look awesome,
areas?
Yeah, look really good.
Especially compared to her.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, Eddie. I see what you're saying. It's a great game. Yeah.
It's a Switch game, for sure.
Yeah, I can imagine it actually being quite fun on Switch.
I think it will be, yeah. Absolutely.
There you go.
Good. Next one. Deliver Us the Moon. Coming out on PlayStation, Xbox, June 23rd. Graphical upgrade only, Ben has said.
Yeah, because I knew you were going to do the whole spiel, and you just said coming out on Xboxes. It's coming. There's just the PS5 in the series updates.
Yeah, I did notice that, but I didn't believe that. And then when I got to the end of the sentence, I saw that. So, nice. Yeah, it came out September 2018 on PC. It's a story-based game with puzzles. It's very positive on Steam, won many awards, and in fact a sequel is coming out on the 27th of September 2022, so this year.
Yeah,
and that's called Deliver Us Mars. I bet that'll be on Mars.
I think so, yeah.
I don't know who's going to take that bet with you.
Alright, fine. That's what you got for me. Next one. Naraka Blade Point, coming out on Xboxes June 23rd. This is a 60-player PvP. Where have we seen this?
We saw it at the presentation, Xbox presentation, wasn't it?
Presentation last week, yeah.
Right, that's where we saw it.
It's got like 20 million players worldwide or something, isn't it?
Absolutely mental number.
Yes, which we were really surprised by because I
never heard of the game. Never heard of the game. Yeah.
For our listeners, it's a 60-player PvP, kind of everyone kind of hacking the shit out of each other. It looks a bit too chaotic for me. It looks like a more chaotic Dynasty Warriors. Do you think you're going to play? Is this coming Game Pass for a start? I should ask.
Yes, I think it's Game Pass.
Lovely.
And I 100% won't be playing it. Looks too samurai for my liking. Also, it is a battle royale. I'm right in thinking that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a battle royale type game. Yeah, not for me. But got shit ton of players, so
they hardly need you. Yeah.
They don't give a shit about me, so it's fine.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fine. They don't need me.
It looks like if you were looking for this type of game, it looks like a very good exponent of that type of game.
If you're looking for this type of game, what a samurai type battle royale, 60 player
battle royale, basically.
I'm going to go against you here. I don't think it is a battle royale. It did sit.
It could just be
because in gameplay footage, I've seen people like ganging up. I guess you could do that in. I don't know. Part of me thinks this isn't that. I reckon it might just be like a big battle against a big. Like what's that medieval one? Fuck my life.
For Honor.
Oh yeah, For Honor. Yeah.
That's what this reminds me of as well.
Yeah.
In many ways.
But there are like I see in some gameplay footage I've seen like NPCs and stuff. So I don't know.
I think this reminds me a bit of like Vampire Masquerade Bloodhunt, the one that recently came out, but that is a battle royale because of the pace of the game and stuff like that. But
it's frenetic.
Yeah, I'd be playing that.
Alright, cool. Next one, Sonic Origins, coming out on PC, PlayStation's, Xbox's, Switch, June 23rd. Relive the classic adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic 3, and Knuckles, and Sonic CD in this new remaster. Do either of you really care about this?
I don't care. There's been a bit of an uproar because of the price of it, considering it's just a remaster and they're not doing anything to the games or something. Because I don't think they're doing anything
like $40 on Steam, I think.
Really to it, but if you're into these games and you want to own it on a new console or something, then fill your boots.
But what I don't understand, these have all been ported to mobile. Like, you can play them on your phone, and they're fantastic on your phone. Just do that.
Yeah, yeah. But if you want it on console, Switch would be perfect place for it, wouldn't it? So, yeah. But I think a lot of people are excited about this.
Yeah, I mean, I loved the Sonic games when I was a kid, but I've got them all on my phone, so I play them there.
Okay,
lovely. Moving on to AI, the Somnian Files, Nirvana Initiative. I've got in brackets US here, Ben. Is that coming out on June 24th in the US?
I didn't know I was going to be throwing this one. I have no idea.
Brilliant. Well, that one says US. But to be fair, when I go on Steam, it does say release date 24th.
Yeah.
Right.
And I am definitely
probably coming out everywhere. Yeah.
Let's go with that. Coming out June 24th, PC, PlayStation, Xbox, Switch. Players Detective Kaname Date. It's probably Date, isn't it?
It's Date, yeah.
Is it? Yeah. I fucking knew it would be. Even though it's fucking, whatever. On the case of an elusive serial killer in the thrilling sci-fi murder mystery. About this game section on Steam has a full paragraph describing what this game is. Which doesn't bode well. Looks like a story-based decision game. It's very much aimed at the Eastern market. Ben, are you going to defend this one?
It's got 86% on Metacritic.
Is that user scores?
It's not user score. Not user score. No, I think this game is supposed to be quite good. I don't know much about it, but you're right, Eddie. It is that like Eastern market appeal, but a lot of people like that in the West as well. But it's that very particular type, almost comic book style.
Yeah,
detective
Japanese
graphic novel. Yes, that's the one. Yeah, it's that type of feel to it, and there are a number of those out. And if you're into those, then it could be right up your street. And it's on Switch, and that's where a lot of them live. So
what I like is I actually gave Eddie the wrong blurb for this one as well, because that's the blurb for the original AI Somnium Files. This one is Special Agents Mizuki and Ryuki. Instead of Date.
Oh, okay.
So,
all I know is this, like, when I was doing my research for this game, it, like, not only was I pissed off, I was like, this is going to be one of Ben's, like, Persona 5 fucking defenders.
Yes, it's quite Persona 5-y in its delivery of, like, the narrative and everything.
Yeah.
And the conversation. Yeah.
And then I was just watching, and then, of course, they're, like all these games seem to have, there was a schoolgirl and she's got stockings on, and I'm like, why have they done that again? Why do all these games do this?
Maybe they just wear stockings in Japan.
I think they might actually do so. But who cares? That's not something to speculate on.
I do not think so, but let's move on. Jesus Christ. Right, next one. Capcom Fighting Collection coming out on PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series... What? Series O? I've never noticed that before.
Oh, Xbox One.
Yeah.
Oh, right,
Xbox One, maybe.
Switch. June 24th. 10 of Capcom's most popular arcade games in one bumper collection. A wide variety of titles are included from series such as the Street Fighter and Darkstalkers, Cyberbots, and the first home console port of Red Earth. And, of course, all titles support online play. Lots of fighty games I've put.
Thank you. I'm glad that you've now initiated fighty because I was wondering what do we call these, and yeah, they are just fighty games. I have no opinion on them.
Fighty game.
Not for me. No opinion on fighty.
Oh, there you go, fighty.
Much like Ninja Turtles, but in a different way.
Oh, shit. Don't go into that. Next one, Fire Emblem Warriors, Three Hopes, coming out on Switch, June 24th. Uncover the fates of three great powers in Fire Emblem Warriors, Three Hopes for Nintendo Switch. That's weird that blurb literally, whatever. A different story set in the universe of Fire Emblem Three Houses. If I say that fucking title one more time. Command vast forces in a real-time battles and blend the strategy of Fire Emblem with action-packed Warriors-style gameplay to unravel the diverging paths of Fodlan's new future. Fodlan's? Fodlan. Fodlan. I'm going to call him Fodlan. This looks very Dynasty Warriors to me. Good mechanics like orders, training. I really wanted to hate this game because this looks like a typical... I don't know how to describe it. But the mechanics, honestly, the more I've looked into this, the more the mechanics actually look really, really cool. Ben, what do you think? Because this kind of looks like a game that you might have played at some point.
Yeah, it's your typical now modern Warriors games that are coming out on Switch that Nintendo are doing the crossovers with. So where you had the Zelda Breath of the Wild prequel that came out. Fire Emblem Warriors has obviously had a previous game as well. But this is coming straight off the back of Three Houses, which was the latest mainline Fire Emblem game, which did very, very well. This is a Warriors game, so if you're not into those, then you're probably not going to be into this. But I think they do really well at actually making an entertaining storyline and putting that together in that kind of Dynasty Warriors setting, and in the Fire Emblem world. And if you're all into Fire Emblem, which it's a huge IP for Nintendo, like this is going to do really, really well, and you're going to enjoy it. So it is a big summer release for Nintendo.
Yeah,
I would probably play this. I love
fair.
Dynasty Warriors. And I think I would forgive the childish animations just for the mechanics,
I think what you'd find, Eddie, is if you were playing this in hand, I reckon it would look stunning. I think it would look really, really good. And the art style would lend itself. And it is a typical Nintendo art style. But the art style is completely following on from Three Houses, which was wonderful. Like, that art style was so good. That game looked really, really good. So it is going to be good to see this. I haven't played the demo. There is a demo on the Switch right now, but it would be nice to see this in action and actually see what it looks like, what it plays like. But it's out just around the corner.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, next one. Phobia Saint Dinfna Hotel, coming out on PC, PlayStations, Xboxes, June 28th. Explore a decadent hotel across different timelines and uncover the dark history of a fanatical cult and your role in their plans. Looks quite scary too, because this was right after another scary game that Ben decided to get rid of.
Yes, we've got rid of
Yes. But this game looks quite scary. It's my kind of scary. It looks like weird shit, like creatures making weird movements. Like the kind of Ring and... What was that other one that came out around the Ring? That was even scarier in my opinion. Like Gothica or something like that, wasn't it? Anyway,
it could have been.
We're talking about movies. It looks scary to me. There's a demo on Steam as well, so you can always try that out. Either of you guys interested in this?
You never know with these games whether they're going to be absolute shite. You just never know with a scary game, do you? Because there's so much more to it than just like a trailer or whatever. But it does look okay on the trailer. There is a demo on Steam, and it is coming to all the consoles as well. So that's also a fairly decent sign, I would say.
Cool, Pete.
No, not even vaguely interested.
Lovely. Okay. Moving on. MX versus ATV Legends, coming out on PC, PlayStations, Xboxes, all on June 28th. All terrain, all vehicles, all you. That doesn't sound as hardcore, I think, as it. They read it in their head, does it? All you.
Yeah.
No.
It's all you.
It's all you, baby. MX versus ATV All Out is the complete off-road racing and lifestyle experience. Find your rider style at the private compound, free ride across massive environments, and compete in the best series events. There's a career mode. You can customize your rider and vehicles with the latest parts and gear, apparently. Once again, I'm going to say it, the visuals look great. Like apparently every fucking racing game. I like this because it's a game based on ATVs and little motorbikes, which I can imagine there is not many gamers into these kind of things, but they've still made it a proper game. So I'm happy. What do you guys think?
I've got no opinion.
Yeah.
No, again, it's one of those where for what it is, it looks like a really good example.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
It's not something I'm going to play, so... Vroomy, even if it isn't.
Yeah, vroomy, but it's even a niche vroomy.
It is.
Can I be harsh and say I can't imagine many people that are into, those kind of motorbikes and ATVs. I can't imagine there are many that are also gamers because
and also ones that'll know this is coming out.
Yeah,
like there's like a tree, like to be into that and a gamer and know it's coming out. Whew, that's a real niche person.
Real niche, unless they're literally going to these events and advertising it, maybe. I don't know.
We're going to get a tweet now, aren't we?
Yeah,
I'm into that.
I'm
into that. I've been looking forward to this
Last
for 6
time we criticised a type, we had to fucking add Kirk to the bloody podcast, didn't we?
And we're doing the same type because Kirk's not here.
I bet there's a whole Reddit group on this, on these type of gamers.
For sure. I mean,
can we not
fair,
loop Kirk into this bracket, can we?
It's been out for years and it's been very popular on PC. So,
there you go.
Fine.
So there you go.
Good.
We're all wrong. That's it for them new releases. My picks of the week, obviously last week has got to be Anvil Saga. It's difficult because I do love the Guild series, but Anvil Saga, I'm really looking forward to that. This week, surprisingly, is actually Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. I said I wouldn't say the title again, but there we are. I just really like the mechanics of it. So, 2 good games there, and overall, I am happy about these past 2 weeks. There's been no absolute huge bangers, but there's been some good games in there.
It's nice that we're actually seeing a big release come out with Fire Emblem Warriors. That's one of the flagship ones for the summer for Nintendo. It's quite good. And then they've got Xenoblade Chronicles next month. So, yeah, at least Nintendo are releasing some games.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. It has been a bit of a lull for a while, so it's good to see.
Yeah. It has been a bit of a lull.
Since February. We should have expected that, really.
Yes, they all came out once, and then we've had very little since. I'd say very little big ones. But
I was actually listening back to one of our episodes a couple of weeks ago, and it was one that we did about, I think, 6 months ago. No, it couldn't have been 6 months ago. I think it was only about 3 months ago then, where we were talking about how fucking good this year's been. I think it was like, how's the year been so far? And in it, I was going like, there's been so many good games, and there's been a few belters, and I end it with going like, and with Starfield coming out soon, it's going to be the best year ever. And now, when I listened to it, a tear went down my eye.
That didn't age well.
It was a very good Q1 with a bit of a lull to follow so far.
It didn't really age well into like April, May. Like, what is coming out?
It's not Starfield.
Yeah.
But Stray's coming out.
Stray is coming out. Lest we forget. Stray is coming out soon.
We will not forget.
Never let us. But we have actually had a big game that came out. I'm segueing.
Nice. Yes, please do. Thank you.
Very good.
So what we've been playing, I have been playing Mario Strikers Battle League. So again, following on, Nintendo are releasing some of their heavy hitters. So the gameplay of this, it's a 5-side football in a Mario setting. I would say it plays really, really well. Like the actual gameplay on the pitch action is really fun, I'd say. At the start, it seems quite difficult. A lot going on. Different items flying everywhere. Like different shot types. The way that it kind of that you learn very, very quickly at the start, like you're getting beaten by the computer quite a bit, and then you learn very, very quickly as you kind of progress through the different cups and things like that. And the graphics also very, very good. They're by the Luigi's Mansion 3 developer, whose name escapes me currently. Next Level Games, I think. And it looks wonderful, and the little cutscenes when you score goals, pretty good. So all in all, on the actual action side, on the pitch, really, I was quite really fun, really impressed with that. And that, unfortunately, is where the positives end.
Shit. I thought you were going to be all about this one.
I was really, really looking forward to this game. Like, I've been buzzing about it for weeks. Like, Mario Strikers is coming. This is going to be really good. Really, really looking forward to it. This is probably the worst single player and probably multiplayer experience. It's one of the worst games that Nintendo have released. I think it's one of the biggest piss takes they've ever released. It's fucking shameful, and it's borderline disgusting what they've done. Like, there's fuck all to this game. Like, wow. It's absolutely. So there's a single player to it where you can play in cups. These cups are against these random teams, and you play 3 matches, and if you win those 3 matches, you win the cup, essentially. And then once you've done it all on normal difficulty, of which there are 6 cups, then you can do it on a harder difficulty. You earn coins through doing these cups, and then you can kind of buy different items that don't improve your player's stats, but then you can modify them. You can like put +2 on shooting, -2 on technique, and that type of stuff. Like, you can modify the playing styles of the people in your team, which all sounds very good. And then actually when you're doing it, you're like, okay, well, that's something, but it's a bit of nothing. And that's the whole single player game. That is it. Then if you go online, there's matches you can play online against random people, and there is something called Mario Strikers Club or something like that. It's basically like an online ranked gameplay. Yeah. The ranked gameplay, bearing in mind that this game came out 2 Fridays ago. It is only the ranked gameplay is only active as of today. Today, so they have gone through the first 10 days or so, and this clubs thing you can play, but you couldn't play in ranked games, and so it's taken 10 days or so before them to actually. Why there's a time on they're doing like a week on, week off. So you do like 1 week on where you can play in this ranked thing to get to win points, and then in your club mode, and then you could do one, and it's 1 week off where you just earn coins and you don't earn points for your team or something, and you can't edit your rank up and down within that period. And it just seems like, what the fuck are you doing? We've already had this with Splatoon, where there was the best game mode on Splatoon 2, which was limited, which was time limited, where you could only play at certain times in the day. They just create this it's a fucking video game. Like, it's not like someone's manning the till. It's a video game, and they're limiting at times you could do stuff. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? In this game, there are 10 characters, and there are 4 or 5 different stadiums. The stadiums basically have no impact on anything. Like, you choose your half of the stadium, and the opposition chooses their half of the stadium, what kind of the style is, whether it's Donkey Kong style or something like that. And
what kind of stadiums are there? So it's a half and half stadium.
Yeah, and it's but it's oh, you can have the Donkey Kong styled one, but you don't notice. It's just, there's literally nothing to it. It doesn't do anything. There's nothing tangible to it. And what I've described in the game mode set, that's it in its fucking entirety. That's the whole fucking game, and it's a 5-a-side football game. And get this, if you can't play with it, now obviously the keepers are controlled by the computer. You can't play with 4 of your friends online against 4 other people, or against whatever. You can't do that. It limits you to 2 people. So you have this thing called Mario Clubs, which I said, or whatever it's called, Striker Club. I don't even know what it's called because I don't give a fuck. It's not even. It doesn't even work right now. You can have up to 20 people in your club, and the idea would be that you get your friends and everything, you're all in the same club, and if you're online together, you can play as a team, and you can go out there and try and win some points or whatever. You can only do that with 1 other person in your club. You can only do it as a pair. How fucking ridiculous is that in a 5-a-side fucking football game? It's not fucking hard. And it's not as if the technology isn't there, because you can do it on couch co-op. You can actually play against people. If you've got 8 people in a room, and I think you have to have like fucking multiple switches and 20,000 Joy-Cons and all this kind of bullshit. Yeah, if you had that, you can literally do it. You can play 4-on-4. But you can't do it online.
Yeah.
It just fucking boggles the mind. And then on this clubs mode, which I haven't managed to play yet because it's not fucking open and it took 10 days for... Why? That's the worst decision fucking ever. But in this club mode, it's like you have to earn points. You get like points for a win, loss, draw, blah, blah, blah. And then depending on how many points you've got is where you go up and down in your ranking. They've made it so... It seems like such a weird fucking system that is basically just the more you play, the better your rank will be because you earn more points in that week.
Right.
Why? Why, for the love of God? Why haven't Nintendo just gone, you know what, there's a pretty big football game out at the moment that has got the season stuff, the ranking system, pretty much fucking nailed. Like, FIFA Ultimate Team is pretty good at that whole ranking system, you know, try and earn points to gain up in rank. Why... It doesn't seem like they're doing it, and you know, if they have done this and I log on later and this is exactly what they're doing, then fair play. But it doesn't seem like they've followed that kind of suit at all. Like it's so easy, just follow kind of like how they do it. It just seems this is a full price game.
Yeah, how much is it?
This is I think full price 50. I think I got it for 40.
Okay.
£40. I pay £40 for something that within 1 hour, you've seen the whole of the game.
Yeah, that's
1 hour. You've seen the whole of the game. Like,
one. I mean,
and I couldn't even play ranked online. It's just.
Yeah. Can I just say I'm glad because you mentioned on the stream that you were going to talk about this on your stream last Thursday that you were going to talk about this. And you could tell then that you were waiting to vent. I'm glad you let it build a little bit longer. I'm glad you let it build up into full fury.
What pisses me off, Pete? What pisses me off is because they do it every fucking time.
Yeah.
Like, they did it with the fucking tennis, which at least had a single player. They did it with the fucking golf. Well, at least that had a single player. This doesn't even have a fucking single player campaign or anything. This has nothing. What they've done is gone, okay, we got away with it those times.
Yeah.
And you know what? The other week when they released that fucking Switch Sports, and it's like, okay, right. When I was saying like, oh, there's so much they could do with this game. There's so much they could do. They don't. They make a game that plays really well. Like Switch Sports, I think is pretty good. The actual gameplay is very good. You can get very good at those games, like the skill level and stuff. You can get very skilled, I think, at this game. But it's just, what the fuck are you doing? Like, this is, and it's disgusting. Like, they just don't. It's like they've gone, okay, well, you know what? Everyone bangs on about needing online play, so we're going to give them on online mode. Okay, well, that's fine, but don't make it 10 days before it's fully active. Because you know what happens after 10 days? Nobody buys your game.
Yeah.
Nobody plays it anymore. There's new games to be playing. Sorry, demoted. Fuck off. Trade it in. See ya. Like, it's just... What a fucking joke of a game. Absolute joke. For something, the biggest shame of this is that it's actually quite good.
Yeah.
It's actually fun. It's actually a good game. I played it continually. I played it every day. And I was like, but Ben, why are you doing this? What is the point in you playing this game? Like there was I was like, I'll wait for ranked mode. So I'm going to go back in. I'm going to play ranked because I just saw no benefit in doing anything.
I think Nintendo's whole business plan is exactly that. Just play games for the fun of it. And that's why, probably a big reason why I can't get into Nintendo. I fucking hate Nintendo.
But I can understand people would say, I can understand you saying that. Eddie, you would be, I know how you get when you spend money on something and then you go, oh, that was a poor decision. You wouldn't be able to sleep.
Devastating.
You wouldn't be able to sleep. You'd be like, right, I need to.
In this talk, Ben.
How do I've lost it with them. Like, I can't buy any more of these games. Like, it's done. It's just, I can't buy any more of these fucking shitty little sports games.
Right. Eddie,
because they're good.
Yeah, there's no point noting it down.
Yeah.
There's
Episode
0
87.
Ben lied.
An hour and 25 minutes in. Ben,
it's probably because I know I don't know if there's any more shitty little sports games that they are releasing. I think they've done them all.
But I've heard they've got a croquet one coming out.
Yeah. Every time it takes the piss. They said the other day, they went, oh, there's going to be DLC stuff. This is before it released. A couple of days before, they went, oh, there's going to be DLC releasing soon after the game. Oh, is there? Well, how about you just wait and release a full fucking game? I don't think this game's ready at all. Why have you waited 10 days to turn on the online?
Ben, how much do you think that DLC is going to be as well?
I hope it's free. If it's not free, they're fucking flipping tables. But there's 10 characters in this game as well, and like for a Mario-based game, when I heard it was 10, I was like, well, it doesn't really matter. There's the 10 characters, but there's nothing else in the game. There's nothing else, so you might as well just do that. And the thing, when you have the whole improvement about changing your stats of your player, like putting them up, putting them down slightly, whatever, that's kind of just turning one player into another.
Yeah.
Just pick the other player. Like, it's a fucking joke. It's an absolute joke. And from Next Level Games as well, who made Luigi's Mansion 3 a fucking excellent game.
Yeah.
Excellent game. And to let yourself down like this.
Hit yourself down.
Yeah. Well, bloody hell.
Yeah.
So, positivity to start with. That's good in a what we've been playing section. I like that. Shall I follow?
Yeah, please do.
Wonderful. Well, I mean, I was in a bit of gaming limbo before this last couple of weeks. So, I mean, I've actually spent money, guys. I bought Per Aspera, Keplerth, and Overlord, the new DLC for Stellaris.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I haven't played any of them.
Fuck's sake!
As yet. Instead, I decided
to play Keplerth because I want to play it myself. But
I've played like an hour. I'll tell you more once I've played a bit more. But yeah, I have jumped into Mass Effect 2 on the Legendary Edition. Which obviously I had to do after finishing 1. It was just like, you kind of got to play the whole 3, really. And yeah, it's still an incredible game. The voice acting in this one stands out for me from the first one. I think they just went to a different level with it. I imagine they improved the writers. And the quality of life improvements in the Legendary Edition are great. The biggest one of these for me is that they've mixed all the DLC weapons in through the game. So on the original version, you just got them at the beginning. They were just delivered to your ship, all the DLC stuff. And my God, did it mess up balance. Like,
yeah, I bet.
Really badly. Yeah, you'd have an outfit you'd barely take off for the entire game if you had something.
Yeah.
You know, so that is a huge, huge improvement. And I'm really hoping that's the case in 3 as well, because otherwise there's one gun in 3 that if you give to your 2 teammates, you can just put a cup of tea on and watch. Like
it does ruin games like that, and you have to force yourself not to take it.
Yeah, that's it.
I've had that before as well.
I mean,
it's just awful.
Mass Effect 3, I did a playthrough where I just let Garrus kill everything because it was fun. Like if you leveled him up the right way and gave him a gun called the Typhoon, he will just kill everything in the game, and you can just stand by watching. Like, yeah, boy, do it.
I always made the mistake in Fallout 4 is the same mod that allows you to basically skip out that fucking first half an hour, going into the thing. So I used that, but it also went like, do you want to add like a gun? And I always added a gun, and I always regretted it because I'm just using that same gun throughout the whole fucking playthrough now. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, so that is a big change and there's a big plus. Sort of mixing those three. You can still get them relatively early if you have one you really like. Like if you go looking for it, you're more likely to find it quickly. But it's better than just, oh, look, I've got a shed load of overpowered equipment straight away. But the only other thing really to notice that sort of bears remembering is while this game is phenomenal, just as the whole series is phenomenal, the exploring and mining planets thing is, my God, it's just filler content. Like, and there's so much of it if you want to that's just filler in there.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, but it's pure filler, like so much so. And yeah, I loved it before. This time around, I'm not doing it so much.
Does it still hold up well, this game, then?
Definitely, yes.
Yeah.
Really enjoy it, really enjoy. I mean, obviously the key thing with these games is not the combat. The combat is fun, it's enjoyable.
It's serviceable, isn't it?
It's the decisions you're making. It's like the choices you make, who you bring on your team, what you do around the teams. and which of the loyalty missions you go for. And that still is a really good way of doing a game. That dialogue wheel they're so proud of was really game changing when it came in. So yeah, it still holds up.
Yeah, cool. I've yet to go back to it because after I did 1, started 2, and then other games came out. But it is that one way I've always got in my locker, and I suppose it probably is one of my only true backlog games.
Yeah, well, this was it. For me, it was because I was like buying stuff that, like, I mean, Per Aspera I've looked at and I think it's interesting, but I'm not sure I'm going to love it. And
What's it called, Pete? Per Astra?
Aspera. So it's another one of the like Surviving Mars style games.
Oh,
but then Kepler is the one you're interested in.
Oh, I know. Oh, don't you worry. That's on my wish list. You worry, Sunshine Bear.
Yeah,
this looks good. Per Astra.
Yeah,
I put pear as in Pear, and I thought that was a bit of a weird name. It's not that for our listeners.
It's per. It's Latin. It's per.
This looks cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll probably have played that within the next few weeks, so I'll talk about that another time.
Eddie's been chomping at the bit for you to play Kepler.
I know, and that's why Kepler.
Because he doesn't want to play it until you've played it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's because I'd already paid for it, so he was like, may as well get a review first. Like,
yeah,
it makes perfect sense, doesn't it? And I only bought it because it was on sale. But yeah, that's for next week.
Okay, cool.
All right, another week I've got to wait.
Yes, indeed.
I have been playing. Well, it was new. It was fresh new last week, but obviously we didn't talk about what games we were playing. The Cycle Frontier. So I think I talked about it 2 weeks ago in the new releases. It came out on 8th of June this year. It's from the developers Jaeger, and if you remember, listeners, it's basically what I called Escape from Tarkov, but in space.
In space.
Yeah, do you know this one, guys?
I've heard of it.
I downloaded it myself, and I spent. I think I mentioned to Eddie that I spent about 30 minutes trying to get a controller configured so that I could use it. And I did get a controller configuration, but by the time that I'd gone through that fucking fiasco, I didn't want to play past the tutorial.
Yeah, of course. That's taken half your playtime. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. So this is, for our listeners, it's a free-to-play PvPvE extraction shooter. So, to explain in layman's terms, it's all about dropping down to the planet. It's a first-person shooter. Dropping down to the planet, getting resources, and getting out without dying. And for that reason, because if you die, then you lose everything that you've got on you at the time. So it's all about, getting your stuff on planet and getting the hell out of there. If you die, then you're pretty fucked. But what's good about these kind of games is it's kind of nerve-wracking because the longer you go on, the more stuff you get, the more value you have, and then that really gets nerve-wracking. It even turns into a bit of a horror game with Escape from Tarkov. But yeah, this one's a bit different. You can sell your loot to get better gear. You can also kind of improve your base. You have like an apartment, which is quite cool. And you also use the stuff that you collect on planet to complete missions. The problem with these kind of games, with these extraction shooters, they call them, is you kind of need a reason to be getting all this loot. At the moment, this game doesn't really have it. You can improve your base, but there's literally there's 3 bits you can improve, and it even explains the highest improvement of those bits you can improve in your base kind of mean nothing really. So without that kind of final goal, I can see people getting pretty bored because obviously there's no real reward for what you're doing. The combat's good though. It feels very Apex Legends. The weapons kind of feel and sound the same as that. The visuals look surprisingly good for a free to play game, if I'm being honest. And what's cool about it, so it's free to play, but they get you with just cosmetic stuff, which is great because it's not pay to win. And what they've done, which I think is really clever, is it's first person on planet, so where it actually matters. But when you come off planet, you go to this big space station where your apartment is and everything else is. And then you turn to third person. So I think that would appease, all your Fortnite players who pay stupid money for silly little outfits and stuff. So it not only is it first person, so it's competitive when you're playing against other people, but it's good because third person, then you can have your city people with their city outfits, which is great. I think it'll be good for money making as well, of course. It's copied kind of right off Escape from Tarkov. I knew it was going to be because it's called an extraction shooter and it's PvPvE, just like Escape from Tarkov. And we all know that Escape from Tarkov is very successful, even though it's got its own platform. It's not on Steam or anything else. But when I loaded into this game, there was a few things that I thought, come on, this is completely ripped off. They've got a lot of the same mechanics, which is fine. But then they've got an insurance system where you pay for certain items and that's insured, and then if you die on planet with those things, you get the value back, which is exactly like Escape from Tarkov. Well, Escape from Tarkov, it does one better. You actually get the weapons back. And I thought, okay, that's a bit of a rip-off. Then you've got safe pockets, which is exactly what you have with Escape from Tarkov. You can put certain things, only a small amount, in your safe pockets, and it's basically like a mini safe that you carry around with you. And those things will be returned to you afterwards. I thought, well, that's a bit of a rip-off. And then I came across a hidden stash, which in Escape from Tarkov is these little buckets that are buried into the ground. And I shit you not, the exact same design of the hidden stashes. They didn't even try and, make a different symbol or something. They literally went, fuck it. Let's copy and paste the Tarkov sign. And just, I don't know how they've gotten away with that, but hey, I can't complain. The game is a bit more tailored to younger people than Escape from Tarkov. It's, the guns are more like arcadey. There's like aliens everywhere, which is, all a bit, well, let's say not serious. Let's not call it silly. That's too harsh. And they've got the childish things, like your Fortnites and stuff, like emotive wheels where you can do dances and fucking stupid things like that. But to counter that, they've got a really good. You can literally press a button and you can talk to that person that's near you, which is quite cool. And it even gives you an option to invite anyone near you, which I thought was quite cool. And even better, at the end of each level, when you get off planet, if you survive, you can even see the players that were near you. Which I know that sounds not amazing, but it's really exciting knowing that you had all that loot and you actually had 3 people near you.
Yeah, that's quite cool.
Yeah, it really Tarkov doesn't even have that, and it does shit you up. But what's great is you can interact with all those people. So if someone did a really good maneuver against you, you can just click a button, message them, or you can send them a friend request, or you can ask them to a party so you can go in your next game together. So even though it's tailored for that, it's still, even if it's tailored to kids, it's still really good for that aspect. So that's kind of all I've got to say with it. Is there's 3 factions that you can do missions with, but again, there's no real reason to do them. It's much worse than Tarkov if you're going to compare them, which you really should, because they're the exact same game. Escape from Tarkov's better with the healings, the guns, the base mechanics, all of that. But on the other hand, this is free to play, so I guess this is a good game. I guess.
Yeah. I mean,
definitive.
Well, I've seen streamers play this, and they seem quite impressed with it.
For a free to play game, I mean, if you've seen the gameplay, it's really quite impressive considering it's free to play.
It looks great as well.
If you told me 5 years ago this is free to play, I wouldn't believe you. But I think all these game developers are now seeing how much fucking money they can make through microtransactions that they go, sod it, let's make it free to play. Let's say, they can fucking buy a fireman's hat for £5. Boom. There's £2 million.
Yeah. Okay.
Welcome to the gaming market.
Yeah, I think this game's doing all right as well. What's the comments on Steam so far? Is it doing positively?
Good question. I've got it up here. Oh, I can't see because you have to go to the store page, don't you? Sorry.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, here we go.
Is one of you typing it in?
It's 6 out of 10. It's mixed.
6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. Yeah, it is mixed. Yeah.
I think that's not surprising because a lot of people that play this kind of game are probably into Tarkov.
Yeah,
It's the
veterans
exact
type of
same
game, yeah.
type. And when you compare it to a game like Tarkov, which hardcore Tarkov fans
So
will
let's
say
not
it's
do
the
that
best game
then,
of all time.
Eddie. Let's compare it to Vigor then, because that's free to play.
Well, this is more silly, like the way the aliens are around.
But do you think this is? Would you prefer to play this than Vigor?
No.
Okay.
But then again, Vigor, when I played it, and I did play it a lot, had no... Again, like, the purpose for it was not really there either, was there? Do you remember you could, like, build up your hut?
Yeah, and it wasn't very good. It was
then
just like upgrade this thing.
And get more,
didn't really...
I don't know, fucking potatoes or something, and it just really wasn't worth it. This is definitely tailored to the Apex Legend players. Do you know what I mean? The ones that like the big explosions and the running around and stuff like that. So I think there's certainly a market there, because this is an extraction shooter focused on the more silly elements of first-person shooters. So I think if it had more advertisement, I think this could actually do quite well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's certainly an interesting one, but it's PC only, isn't it? And
It is.
And as I said, like, to get a controller working on it is quite testing. So yeah, unless you're a mouse and keyboard player, maybe not for you. But, okay, shall I pick up with our final game of the week then?
Lovely.
Yes, indeed.
Right. Well, as you may have been aware, I streamed Turtles: Shredder's Revenge last Thursday, and yeah, it's a blast. So the nostalgia is there right from the start. So the opening sequence of the game is like the intro to the TV series, but it's just a new modernization of it and everything, and with I think a slightly different song and all that kind of stuff. It's fucking brilliant though. It's really, really good. The only downside of that is that there isn't like a button in the options to play that sequence again, because it's that damn good. It's really, really good. But yeah, constant throwbacks to the TV series, and it's got the original voice actors in it. Like that is,
I read that.
So fucking cool. That is such, like, they pay such like homage to those fucking old games and TV series. Absolutely brilliant. The gameplay incredibly simple but effective. Like literally a couple of buttons is how you control basically the 95% of your moves. But it's wonderful, simple but effective. Multiplayer in it, it's drop in, drop out. I haven't played that, but I've seen people playing it. Fuck it, you can have, I think it's up to 6 dropping in, dropping out to play, which is brilliant. And it's got like a revival system as well within 10 seconds of getting knocked out, so you don't lose a life. The whole game is about 3.5 hours total. But it's designed to be played multiple times, different ways, different difficulties, different characters, leveling up your characters. There's also an arcade mode, which gets rid of all the cutscenes and stuff and just has like a simple number of lives system, and it's a little bit harder, so that's good as well. But it's just, there's something about this. It's just like plain fun. Were you guys into the Turtles when you were younger?
Not
I watched the
games,
TV.
but yeah, the TV show.
Yeah, I fucking love the Turtles. I loved the films. I loved the TV shows. Turtles were one of my biggest kind of franchises as a kid that I was into, and I was definitely into. I've been wanting this game for a long time, haven't I? I've been talked about it for a long time. And it just simply has not disappointed at all. I'm not a big beat 'em ups like fan. But, you know, a lot of people are saying that this is one of the best ever made. You know, I think it just takes all of the good aspects of all the known good beat 'em ups and just delivers it in spades. Now, if you don't have huge nostalgia for the Turtles, it might not hit the same. But my God, it's like, it just reminds you of the old games. Like, so they've just done it so fucking well, and it controls brilliantly. You're just smiling, like on the stream. I was just constantly smiling. Like, it was like, this is just fun. The music was banging as well. It's just so, the soundtrack was excellent. The art style was fantastic. It just felt, it was better than I ever thought it was going to be. It's on Game Pass.
Yeah, I thought that was a really good move.
What a move that was. What a great move that was, because now so many people have played this game, and because it's quite short, so many people have completed it. And I think I'm probably going to double dip and buy it on Switch as well, because I think it'll be wonderful on the Switch.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to pay the 25, 30 quid or whatever, 30 quid to get it, because it's just I just want to have it physically on the Switch. Absolutely like outstanding. But it's just an outstanding game. Really, really good. Recommend anybody who's got any passing kind of interest in the Turtles, or is kind of old like us and has played the original Turtles games, because you're in for a fucking treat. Like, it just does not disappoint. Really, really good game. And it doesn't outstay its welcome either. Like 3.5 hours. Beat 'em ups like this, which are quite simple in their kind of makeup and their gameplay systems and stuff, you could definitely see them outstaying their welcome and not being fresh enough, but it continues with that freshness right up until the end. And just then it's done, and you start again and unlock a character and move on. It's absolutely outstanding.
Fantastic.
I've got to admit, I watching you play it, I did think this is quite a polished game, and I looked up on Metacritic, the Switch version's 88, and fuck me, the user scores across the board are huge.
We've already the user scores don't mean it.
This is
no one's reviewed it yet, so.
But this is also one of those where you can just pick it up on an afternoon, like end up with a free afternoon. You can complete this game.
That's so good. Like, you can. Yeah. You could put 10, 15 hours into this, or you play it once and go, yeah, that was fucking fun.
Yeah, exactly. Which is, it's such a good addition to Game Pass. That's the key for me. I'll probably end up playing this because it's there.
Yeah, it's one of these games that if I had to pay for this, I'd be pretty angry, because I think all these kind of games are nonsense. But the fact that it's free to play, and the fact that everyone's saying it's good, and it's probably going to be in our talk of Game of the Year, at least mentioned in something, then I think I'll even play this kind of game.
Yeah, well, it especially comes into that conversation, doesn't it? For like this podcast, where time is limited for playing all these games that we want to talk about, and often in our last couple of game of years, there's often been like maybe 2 of us to 3 of us that have played a game max. But this one, everyone can play it because it's only a couple of hours long. Yeah, it's on Game Pass. Like, it's one of the most accessible games out there. And it just so happens to be very fucking good.
Okay, so I guess we're on to the feature then, which is
cool. Yeah, lovely.
Just good. That did anyone else think that gaming section before the new releases was just insanely long? By the way,
that was insanely long.
There were
I was
a lot
thinking
of things there.
I mean, sometimes we like a stacked new release section, but that was.
Well, you know why? Because that was 2 weeks that was 2 good weeks, as in 2 big weeks.
Yeah, not a lot of games to prune out. Yeah, it's a lot.
That's the thing as well. Normally, there's like, I guess I could have got rid of that fucking sideways scroller shitty one, but all of them, someone would have liked one of those games.
Yeah,
Ken would have liked
there was
the shit ones.
Yeah,
that's
that's unnecessary. But
I mean, I think he did like most of the shit ones. Anyway, it is time for the feature, and I'm going to let you introduce this, Eddie, because it was your idea.
It was, yeah. So, with E3 and all the other fucking things that went on that meant Ben drafted me in to watch all these shitty trailers, I thought it's quite fitting to kind of talk about these trailers and game developers' approach to, I've named it, when should we hear about upcoming games? But I've got 5 questions for you guys. We'll go through each one because it's really interesting. I get really pissed off when I see certain trailers and hear about upcoming games and all this shit. So I kind of want to know if it's just me being classic thick blood Eddie and getting really pissed off with stuff as I always do, or if it's maybe I've got some method to my madness. So the first question I've got for you is, when should we hear about a game that is being in development?
Okay, I'm trying really hard not to laugh because in my head you're now thick blood E-Dog.
Yeah.
That's my new gamer tag.
Thick blood E-Dog.
And I like how you said thick blood, as though everyone here should know that you take blood thinners.
Well, yeah, no, right. For our listeners, I do take blood thinners, but I thought thick blood sounds like I'm angry as well.
It does.
Yeah.
It does, yeah.
But also that you need blood thinners.
Congealing with anger.
I'm so angry. I need blood
I thought you were
thinners.
just making an inside joke, but bringing our community into an inside joke about your health problems.
It worked in both
That's
categories.
extreme. That's
great,
extreme.
Great work, E-Dog. Great work. But yeah, I think it's a good question, and it's an interesting one because, like, I'm going to go to an obvious example here and say, do you remember the Cyberpunk trailer in 2013? The little one with the girl with the mantis arms.
Yeah.
That was amazing. It had a really good song, was really, like, visual, really drew you into the idea. And then it was 7 years till it was released.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind that, but it irritates me when there's these big gulfs of silence. As anyone who watched our Xbox Bethesda showcase will know, I was really hoping for something ES6. It's been 3 years since we saw a rolling landscape, and that was it, basically, just Elder Scrolls 6. So you could say they've started work, it's fair enough, but I'd rather only do it if you're in a place where you can update afterwards. Like,
Yeah, Pete, for me, it's the announcement should be made when work has begun. So they've got their whole team. They know exactly what's happening. They'll have some sort of timeline, even if it's like a fucking 2-year one. But I think not before that. I understand there's the whole, getting investors involved and therefore getting more money and whatnot. Maybe even get the good developers on board. But I think nothing should be said to the public before that, because there are so many chances of things going wrong, being delayed, and all this sort of stuff.
It's different circumstances. I get what you mean, but like, let's say in the Bethesda Showcase Xbox for Bethesda, you had Kojima was kind of shown off there and saying that they hadn't even started that game. He's just like, I've got a game. He basically said, I've got a game I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
A game that I've been thinking about for a while. So, but things like that is that you're not gonna. That's like a 6 year.
Yeah,
that's gonna be like 6 years time, isn't it?
Yeah,
that game. That's gonna be end of the generation.
It's the length they take to make now is the other problem in this, isn't it? And I like your idea, Eddie, the idea that you announce when work's begun. But I recognise that in order to get the investment they need to go hard, they're going to need to drum up some interest early.
Some excitement.
So I don't mind if you do that the moment you go, yeah, we're making this, the moment it's confirmed. But you see things like 1313, the Star Wars game, and you go, that sucks. Like, I hate that I knew about that when it never happened.
It also puts pressure on a team. Like, so you mentioned Cyberpunk, Pete, in 2013. Do you then remember the like tech demo that was shown a few years ago, where basically it turned out afterwards that it was all like made up.
Yeah.
And it wasn't part of a level, part of anything. It was just very this linear kind of thing that was designed to be shown at that. There's a pressure to show things after that. What I do like is like what Nintendo have done with Metroid Prime 4, and just been like, they did show like just Metroid Prime on a screen, like the logo. Then they went, obviously, this game is terrible, so we're starting it again. And then you just hear radio silence, and so it's not like they're trying to. They're just letting people know that it is happening, but with no real expectation that we're going to see anything for years. As long as there's no expectation you're going to see anything for years, I'm kind of happy with that. But I am one of these guys that actually I like to hear about something like a year before it's released. I like a late reveal because I'm all aboard the hype train, but
I think
can't be on it all the time.
For the bigger developers, like even people like CD Projekt Red, they're doing it early to get extra funding. That's why.
Yeah, you're right.
People see that Cyberpunk trailer and go, "Oh my god, we want to play this!" And the more that resonates around the internet, the more people go, "We could put some money in that."
Yeah, I suppose with companies like Microsoft and who are trying to get exclusives for Game Pass and things like that, we may be in a position where you aren't getting as many as these early reveals because they can just go directly to Microsoft or something, and then Microsoft want that as a Game Pass day one and they help with the development or something like that, help with the funding, or they put them in contact with people or something like that. So it's not necessary to do these outlandish 4 years in advance announcements.
This is the thing as well. I realise, Eddie, I've taken a long time over this question, which you've actually provided answers for us. But I think the thing, I can't remember which game it was, where they didn't actually tell you the name for ages. They had a couple of lead-up trailers that just drew you in. Without giving any details or anything until they were in place to go title release, basically. That's going to really wind me up. If it comes to me, I'll shout it out later.
Yeah.
But I'd prefer they did that. I think given the ones you've suggested, Eddie, either when work has actually started or when the decision is made is fine. You just have to be consistent from there.
Okay, cool. All right, well, moving on from that to the good old being delayed games. When should we get a date of expected release? So what I mean by this is an actual date. So when it says September 2022, for me, I think it should be when they have a pretty damn good idea of when it will be ready. So if that's 6 months before, maybe even as far as 9 months before. But I do not think they should have it before that, because there's always the chance of being delayed. And let's be honest, I would love to see the percentage of games that have been delayed this year. Yeah. But what do you guys think?
I would actually say when they move to bug fixing.
Really?
That would be when they should do it. When you move to bug fixing, so that's probably 3 to 6 months, depending on the scale of the game. That's when you announce the date. Don't do it before, because you're not going to do it. And if it releases with a few bugs, well, Bethesda have made an entire career of that. It's fine. So, yeah. When you move to bug fixing.
I'm with Pete. I think it's when the game goes gold, because we're in this time now where everything is getting delayed. Now, indie games are different and other types of games are different. But if we're talking AAA to AA type games, I think I also it increases the hype for me as well. If somebody says a game is out next month or 2 months' time, I go, ooh, okay. Strap yourselves in. Lovely old job. If somebody says 27th of March 2023, I go, well, that's probably bollocks.
Yeah. For me, Ben, there's two reasons. I think I mentioned a couple of weeks ago. It's when your mum used to buy your holiday, a year before. And you got really excited for that month, but then it all died down. And you actually felt sad that it was a long, long way away. It's the same with games. When I see a game and I get excited, and then I see 9 months' time, I get sad because I go, that's fucking shit, because I'm all excited about that game now.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, and I know a lot of people were a bit disappointed with the Xbox Bethesda showcase. I wasn't, but the one thing they was that a lot of the games didn't get dated. But what they did, and I thought this was really, really clever, well, probably to be expected, given everything that's happened with Xbox, and they basically said everything that's at that event is going to release within the next 12 months. And I thought that was a very powerful kind of statement, because it meant that they didn't need to say release dates. It means that they can move things around, and they could probably be flexible with that 12 months if they needed to be. But they're not building up needless expectations. So games like A Plague Tale. Now, I would expect A Plague Tale to come out in 3 to 4 months. But they're not dating it yet, which I think is really good. That's quite cool, because we know it's coming this year. They've said it is, and I don't think it's gonna. You wouldn't think it's gonna slip, because they've literally just said it now that it's 2022. They're probably more than ever trying to get it in at least the right fucking year at the moment. So I like what Xbox are kind of doing and not setting these dates. Set them nearer the time, because then we can get the real excitement going.
Fuck it, just shadow drop everything. Just
shadow drop everything.
Shadow drop
fucking
everything.
Right.
Don't
shadow
even
drop
tell
me.
people it's coming out.
That'd be so. Just announce it. Just put it as a tweet.
Not even
a tweet
that.
without a picture.
A
tweet without a picture that just says, not even the full name, just says Requiem.
Make a new account for each game as well, so it's not even coming from one
so
consistent
place. With no friends or anything.
And it doesn't even have that. It just says PT for Plague Tale. Just says PT.
Fantastic. It would be a big change in release numbers.
I also think that when games get delayed, doesn't it put a negative feel on it?
It does.
You think
it makes you think, something's wrong with it. Same what people thought about Starfield. As soon as you get delay, you're like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Where's it at? And then they show you a trailer and you go, well, they show you some gameplay and you go, oh, actually, it is in a good state. How the fuck would you know? Yeah. This gameplay trailer that they've put together is they've cherry picked exactly what they want. They've just whipped something. Like, how the fuck do you know how it looks? Like, it's just what a ridiculous statement.
I'm glad you said that, Ben, because that leads me nicely to the next question. And this one's the big one for me. What is your ideal trailer? Now, what I mean by this is my example. I want a small amount of cinematic stuff. Now, I think you'll be surprised that I even say that, but I do like a little bit of hype, maybe about the story, maybe something to introduce the game. But then I want lots of gameplay, lots of mechanics. I want to see exactly what I'll be doing in this game, and for me, that is the perfect kind of trailer.
Fair.
Well, this question, Eddie, this question is, in my mind, the one that immediately came up was that fucking Alien game. The one that we just had at Summer Game Fest. It was like an Alien game, which for our listeners that haven't seen it, I think it was like 2 minutes long, at least 2 minutes of like long CGI trailer, alien looking stuff. Oh, this looks great. And then we saw about 4 seconds of gameplay.
It was quick, wasn't it? It was like cut.
Yeah, and it looked like it was like an isometric viewpoint. It looked like it could be a real-time strategy or a cover shooter or something like that. And it's just like, all right, well, this is exactly not the game that was advertised here. Like, and even like Marvel Midnight Suns, that one, we've seen a lot of the first trailer that we got for that was so cinematic, and then they only released that it was like a turn-based card type system fairly recently, I'm sure, because it's still like, well, what? I remember the first one came out like a year ago or something, that trailer, and I was like, well, what the fuck is that game?
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't give you anything, and it actually makes you more annoyed than anything. Because you've told me nothing.
Oh, how many times have you heard me fucking blow up at the screen? Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I've become proper thick blood there.
Boxenberger said last week, he was like, it takes so much money to make those trailers as well.
Yeah, it's insanely expensive to make those trailers. Like, that's probably, well, it's so much more expensive you'd think than gameplay, and yet they really go hard for it.
But a lot of people have a lot more respect when you see, obviously we want to see gameplay, but I would rather see ropey gameplay than awesome CGI.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And I don't know, I kind of, more towards you, Eddie, I want a bit of cinematic, but I then want a bit of detail on mechanics, a bit of detail on the unique things about this game. Mm-hmm. Like, give me an idea of the fact that you customize in so many different ways or whatever. Throw all of that stuff in there. Don't try and just be cinematic. Unless you're 7 years beforehand, in which case, fair enough. Then it's okay.
Do you know who I think, and I was always going to say this, is Starfield, is when I saw that trailer.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
There was enough action in there, and then out of nowhere they went into... I mean, do you remember when they said something about customizing the ship or something, and I fucking exploded?
I know, and that was their cinematic bit. Even that was almost, that was their kind of cinematic stuff. When it was actually, that was really, really cool. I mean, that Starfield trailer was very weird because by the end I was so positive, but that first like 30 seconds I was like, what the fuck is this?
I think they've done it on purpose, and even do you remember I was so disappointed because I thought you were that fucking. I thought it was third person. I thought I was a third person robot, and I was like, oh my god, I'm devastated. But by the end, I was screaming at the screen, begging for it to come out now.
Yeah,
absolutely. Right, moving on to the next one. And this one's a bit of a weird one, but should there be tech demos? Now, I'm going to refer to.
Good thought.
Yeah, I'm referred to 2 tech demos. One that you'll probably agree that was really good was, remember the Dead Space tech demo?
That was brilliant.
That was really good.
Superb.
And I also want to relate you to another tech demo that you might not have thought was as good, was the Gran Turismo.
That was wank. Yeah, that was absolute wank shaft.
The 8 minute... Was it 32 minutes?
It was
disgusting.
Minutes,
It was horrible.
About 8 minutes of it was talking about weather.
Yes, the music and all that. Anyway,
well,
do you guys think
I wouldn't mind if the game actually looked good.
Well, it's also,
but it looked great in the tech demo.
I would love a tech demo, Eddie. I would love a tech. Yeah, I'm trying to stop Ben from ranting.
I know, he was just about to go on his little rant again.
Sorry, apologies.
He's done it at least 5 or 6 times tonight, and every time I've watched 5 minutes just blink. It's gone. And I'm like, most of the time it's the same thesis repackaged more angrily, which I enjoy a lot as well. But anyway, yes, I'd love a tech demo, but keep it about as short as one of Ben's rants, but a bit punchier.
Cool. Dead Space did it really well, where they just pulled back the fourth wall. It's like, yeah, okay, this is what we're working on. This is these are the environments. They're really they're really alpha at the moment. But yeah, I loved how they did that. I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah. For me, it's I would want it on all games with, well, for a start, new features like the Dead Space had all the things that they're introducing, like the fog and all that. But I also want it on like strategy games where it kind of highlights mechanics, even if they're like simple mechanics. I just want something to get me excited, to show me exactly what I'm expected if I buy this game. But to caveat that, and quite surprisingly, I don't think they're needed if they're on like, story-based games. Like Life is Strange or something like that. I couldn't imagine.
I'd actually posit another one, Eddie, which is sequels. Like proper sequels. Yes. And I'm talking things like High Isle for Elder Scrolls.
Right, yeah.
And even the World of Warcraft expansions. Like the World of Warcraft expansions have some of the best cinematic trailers there are. Yeah. Because they don't need to show you gameplay, because you know what the game is.
Yes.
You know what it is. So that's where you can get away with that stuff. And yeah, things like Life is Strange, where it's mostly story. Cinematics don't do a tech demo. Like that works. Yeah. But strategy
I'd love
games,
to see more tech. Yeah, I'd love to see more tech demos, especially around strategy games. I think that would work so well.
In Crusader Kings 3, a tech demo could tell you how to play that game in 20 minutes, and it'd take you 2 hours to learn it yourself, minimum.
Yeah.
So they could solve a lot of the problems of people not wanting to pick it up by doing an engaging tech demo.
Absolutely.
And I hate to be that guy, but even me, who does a lot of research with my games, there are some games that I play for a while, and I didn't even know like some of the mechanics that happened. I didn't know that you could press F and it changed the formation of your people on the go and stuff like that.
Oh god, yeah! I find hotkeys in the Total War games or the Paradox games. Even now, you're just like, oh, that's handy.
Yeah.
Because if you don't need it, it's just a QOL or whatever else. Sometimes you just don't find them, and a tech demo could give you some really cool, interesting extras, couldn't it?
Exactly, mate. Exactly. All right, nice one. That leads me on to my final question. You're a game developer. What is your ideal build-up schedule for an upcoming game? So, for me, I want the announcement when work is being done. 6 months before release, I will drop a release date. This is coming out in 6 months' time. Then around 3 months before, I'm going to do this Uber trailer with a little bit of cinematic. And then only a month before, just to get people excited, and therefore that still excitement's in their mind for that month, is drop a tech demo.
Nice. I like also, Eddie, that I hadn't really noticed that you just Frankensteined up our feature this week. I asked you to put some format to yours, and you went, I know how I'll do this.
Frankenstein
it. Love that. Yeah, very well played.
And I quite like that you guys criticise how I put together the features and with the different like bullet points and all that, and Eddie's just gone that exact route.
Yeah, no, Ben.
Bullet point isn't a fucking structure. It's just asking questions.
Yeah, that's just basic formatting. Ben, what you do is categorise everything.
Great structure.
You categorise everything, Ben. If I said, like, the feature is tomatoes, you would go, category 1, colour. Category 2.
He would make an Excel spreadsheet to do this. I don't know why I'm surprised. I don't know why that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, fair point. Fair point, me. Okay, so in terms of this, I would probably go announcement a bit earlier than you, Eddie. I don't mind an announcement being early as long as there's a bit of follow-up afterwards. What's it called? Release date, bug fixing, 3 to 6 months before tops. Trailer around the same time. Actually, yeah, fuck it. Just have the release date in the trailer. Boom, coming. Ooh. And then tech demo. Yeah, month before sounds very healthy.
Trailer and release date same day, just to get the excitement all bam in one thing. I like that.
Maybe even that way you could do a more cinematic trailer and basically have it be a trailer for your tech demo, which is going to go deep into gameplay too.
Ooh.
My ideal. I've taken your two on board. So what I'm doing is I'm going to talk about Now I'm going to talk about this is for for one of my indies. I want you to turn up at a Nintendo Direct, show me a banging trailer, and then shadow drop that shit. And I've never heard of it before. That's what I want.
You're the developer,
Hear about
Ben,
it,
in this
trailer and release all one day, baby. That's what I want. I'm in for that.
Oh my god, you were the developer on this, Ben. That's some crunch.
I want to. I want to be at a Nintendo Direct. I want to shadow drop that shit. Nobody's ever heard of it before. Done. Next.
By one tweet as well. Just
yes, one tweet, which is just an acronym.
An invisible hyperlink next to it that you can't see, but if you clicked it would take you there.
Just saying ON out now.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Fantastic.
Never be a
literally,
developer.
Everyone would just read it as why is someone shouting on at me?
On.
And this is why we're not developers. But yeah, okay. I think it's interesting to see what other people would think, wouldn't it? I'd be interested to hear what Kirk would think on this type of stuff. And I'd be
I bet Kirk likes a long period of build
a
up.
long build up, right? Like I reckon he does, and then gives up on the game after 20 minutes and says it isn't scary. Yeah, But I'd be interested to hear what he thinks, and I'd also be very interested to hear what everyone who listens to us would think. So how would they let us know, Ben?
Great segue. You can email us at podcast@grumpygamers.co.uk. You can tweet us at grumpygamerspod. And we're also on YouTube, Grumpy Gamers Podcast, and Twitch, Grumpy Gamers Podcast, all one word. And we will be streaming every Thursday at 7 p.m. BST. And this week it's The Quarry.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
You're looking forward to that, Ben?
I really am. I really am. I know I want to play it now, but I'm saving it for stream.
Damn right you save it. Nice. But for this week, it is GG.
GG.
GG.